Welcome back to A World Gone Mad, the podcast where today's headlines feel less like news and more like dispatches from a civilization quietly unraveling. I'm Jeff Allen Wolfe, your voice in the wilderness, charting a course through the wreckage of broken institutions, hollow promises, and the slow corrosion of a democracy that once pretended to be unshakable. This is WTF Wednesday, the midweek freefall where the headlines come at you like hail the size of bowling balls. The warning sirens are screaming, and the clowns in charge are outside holding golf clubs. This isn't politics anymore. It's a demolition derby in a thunderstorm, with democracy strapped to the hood of a car as the hood ornament. And we're supposed to clap, wave our flags, and pretend the airbags still work. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're either running on caffeine and anxiety or just sick enough of the bullshit to tune in. Either way, you've found your haven. I'm not here to coddle you, distract you, or soothe your nerves with bipartisan baby powder. I'm here to grab this country by the lapels, shake it until the lies fall out, and scream in its face, the American dream isn't dying quietly. It's being strangled in public. Welcome to WTF Wednesday, because every headline has you asking, what the fuck are they trying to get away with now? Delusional Donald is back in the spotlight again with his latest brain-dead master plan, kill mail-in voting and smash the voting machines. Strap in. This one's a freaking fire alarm. The stable genius is back, Mr. Indictment himself, and he's not even pretending anymore. He's standing on the world stage screaming, hey everybody, I'm going to rig the election. Watch me do it. This isn't happening in some smoke-filled backroom. This isn't Nixon whispering on a tape. This is Trump announcing it like he's hawking steaks on QVC. On Monday, Trump declared he'll lead a movement to ban mail-in ballots and voting machines. Executive order, he says. Think about that. An executive order to erase the way tens of millions of Americans vote. Now, constitutionally, he can't do that. Elections are run by the states, not by the orange fraud in chief. But that's not the point. The point is the threat, the intimidation, the clear signal that he's ready to bulldoze any safeguard of democracy that doesn't have his name stamped across it. Mail-in ballots are not some exotic scheme. They're how soldiers overseas vote. They're how seniors and people with disabilities vote. Hell, Republicans used to love mail-in ballots until 2020, when Trump realized Democrats used them more, and suddenly they were fraud. Fraud that's been disproven in court over and over and over. But does Trump care? Of course not. The lie is the tool. And then there's the machines. Donald is still stuck in his Dominion-fevered dream, swearing that voting machines are the devil's plaything, that they can flip votes at the push of a button. There's no evidence. None. In fact, Trump's allies have been crushed in court for spewing that garbage. Remember Pillow Guy? He's lost massive defamation lawsuits over false election claims, and he's been absolutely gutted. And yet, here Donald is, still swinging that dead horse like it's Excalibur. Because it works. Because his base eats it up. And here's the kicker. Trump's not saying maybe. He's not saying let's study this. He's saying I will ban it. Out loud, in public. In 2025 America, the president can openly announce that he's going to strip millions of people of their legal rights to vote, and half the country shrugs. What the fuck are they even doing? Donald's trying to rig the game in broad daylight with a megaphone, daring anyone to stop him. This is authoritarianism with a laugh track. A banana republic dressed in red, white, and blue. And if you think it ends with mail-in ballots and machines, you're not paying attention. This is the trial balloon. If he gets away with this, what's next? Sorry, the wrong people are voting, so we'll just cancel that too? Trump isn't hiding it. He's pointing at the vault, waving the crowbar and saying, I'm robbing this place. And the terrifying part is, the people sworn to stop him are still debating whether it be rude to call it a crime. And like the con artist that Trump is, who thinks the Constitution is just fine print on a timeshare contract that can be changed at will with a black Sharpie, Trump decides Monday is the perfect day to announce he'll lead a movement to ban mail-in ballots and voting machines. Think about that. An executive order to erase the way tens of millions of Americans vote. And to repeat this, constitutionally, he can't do it. Elections are run by the states, not by the president. Every legal expert knows this. And yet, where are the Republicans? Oh, that's right. They're hiding under their desks, practicing their new campaign slogan, see no evil, hear no evil, vote for evil. Their silence isn't just silence. It's a standing ovation. Okay, I mentioned this in a previous episode about Trump going after the Smithsonian, clipboard patrol, some MAGA stooge, marching through exhibits with a Sharpie deciding what gets to stay and what gets erased. But now, Trump's ramping it up even higher. On Tuesday, delusional Donald ranted that the Smithsonian is out of control. Out of control? It's a museum. The wildest thing happening there is a middle schooler pressing the elevator button too many times. Trump's big complaint has always been the art, the science, the exhibits that dare to point out America's flaws. But now Trump's expanding the attack. This time, Donald's problem is that the Smithsonian dares to show America's ugliest truth. Slavery, the whips, the chains, the families sold off like cattle. And yes, the bodies hanging from trees, while white families smiled for postcards. And because reality has a way of cutting deeper than any whip, MAGA snowflakes melt faster than an ice sculpture at a July barbecue. Translation: heritage, not hate. Heritage, minus the ropes, the blood, and the bodies they'd rather pretend were never in the trees. And this just isn't another rant. The White House actually ordered the Smithsonian to undergo an internal review, which means some political hack with a checklist gets to march through the National Museum of African American History and Culture, like a mall cop on a power trip. Too many nooses, too many scarred and broken backs, too many dead black men hanging from ropes. Erase it, erase it, erase it, and replace it with fireworks, flags, and a MAGA gift shop. That's not a museum. That's North Korea with better popcorn. Seriously? Are they going to replace the exhibit about lynching black people with a Build-A-Bear workshop where every bear comes in a little red hat that reads, Build a Bear Better, slavery not included? This isn't about balance. This is about bigotry. It's about telling black Americans your ancestors' pain makes us uncomfortable, so we're erasing it. It's about turning a national museum into a padded safe room for fragile white egos. Imagine a ride called the Freedom Coaster, where the cars only go backward, the tracks are made of denial, and every souvenir photo is photoshopped to cut out the black people. And where are the Republicans on this one? Same as always, silent. Not one of them defending the Smithsonian's independence. Not one of them standing up for the truth about slavery, lynching, or systematic terror. Their silence isn't neutrality. It's permission. It's complicity. It's the quiet part of bigotry spoken loudly. They're not lawmakers anymore. They're history's janitors, sweeping up the facts and dumping them in the trash behind Mar-a-Lago. Bottom line, the Smithsonian exists to make sure we don't forget. Trump and his enablers want to make sure we never even learn. And if you could look at a black body hanging from a tree and say, "Hide that, please," you're not protecting America. You're embalming a lie and calling it patriotism. That's not history. That's propaganda on stilts, wobbling around until it collapses under the weight of its own bullshit. And while Trump's busy trying to white out slavery from the history books, his Justice Department's over here playing creative writing class with crime stats. Because when reality doesn't fit the narrative, these guys just borrow a Sharpie from Trump's desk and make shit up. The DOJ is now investigating whether DC police literally cooked the books, downgrading violent assaults, massaging robberies, fudging the numbers like a kid changing an F to a B- before mom gets home. And why? Because the reality doesn't match the show. Violent crime in DC is at a 30-year low. But you can't justify turning the Capitol into a stage set for American carnage if the stats don't look scary. So, presto! Suddenly the numbers scream crisis. It's political Photoshop, crime stats with a hellscape filter. And what a coincidence! These freshly baked numbers just happen to make Trump's little stunt look justified. You know the stunt I'm talking about? Federalizing the city's police, rolling in the National Guard like we're one step from Snake Plissken's Escape from D.C. sequel. The facts didn't back up the crackdown, so they didn't scrap the crackdown, they scrapped the facts. You know, it's like calling the fire department to report smoke in your kitchen, and instead of checking the stove, they come in with a flamethrower and yell, "See? Told you it was burning." What the fuck are we even watching? This isn't Law and Order. This is Law and Order fan fiction, written by people who couldn't pass a middle school math test. And the GOP, once again, not shocked, not outraged. They're clapping along like trained seals, happy just to be part of the act. Their silence isn't neutrality, it's cheerleading. They're not defending democracy, they're auditioning for a speaking role in Trump's next lie. So after Trump's DOJ finished forging crime stats like carnival barkers rigging the ring toss, the universe decided to raise the stakes by nearly drop-kicking Earth with an asteroid. While Washington was cooking the books, a space rock the size of a skyscraper slipped by on Monday night like, "Hey, just checking in, don't mind me." NASA says it passed closer than the moon. Translation, listeners, if the math nerds in Houston had sneezed mid-calculation, I'd be doing this episode from a smoking crater. Nobody noticed until it was basically waving from the driveway. You'd think planet-killing space boulder would be higher on the list than, say, the endless GOP border crisis theater. But nope, this country's running like a college group project where the guy with the telescope overslept. What the hell, listeners? While I'm here tearing apart Sharpies, ballots, and museums, the universe itself is literally chucking death rocks at us. Maybe, just maybe, America's priorities are a little out of orbit. Literally. If you give a damn about what I'm saying, if you care where this country's heading, then don't sit in silence. Send me your feedback. Send me your thoughts. Let me know you're out there. Don't be the silent majority parked on the sidelines. I've been pouring my heart and energy into this for over a year and a half. Now I'd like to hear from you. I've heard from some new listeners, and I love it, but most of my original wolf pack, the ones who've been here since day one, you've been quiet, and I'd really like to change that. So here's my direct line. Call and leave a message, 833-399-9653. Some of you have done that. Thank you. Or email me, madworldtalk@gmail.com. madworldtalk@gmail. That email box has been silent. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel. Agree, disagree, argue with me. Fine. Just don't stay silent. Because without you, I'm sitting in a room talking to myself. And that's a lousy way to end our fight. And please leave a review on Apple or Spotify. It's the only way this podcast gets noticed instead of buried. I show up every damn day to call this country out for what it is. I don't dress it up. I don't water it down. I don't run it through a filter. This has been a world gone mad. Wednesday's WTF edition. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. I'll be back again Friday because someone has to say the shit that no one else will. And apparently, that job's mine. Until then, Wolfpack listeners, stay skeptical, stay focused, and most of all, stay hopeful.